everybody, how is it going? And welcome to another episode of Amps and the XFX3. Today we are going to be checking out a set of twin triplets. Yes, the Fender Twin Reverbs. Guys, if this is your first time here or if you've been here a couple times before, make sure you are subscribed. I don't want you to miss any of the cool stuff that I got going on here. So let's dive right in and check out these Fenders. I'm going to be looking at Fender amps. And then the cab we're going to be is a 212 double verb, which is a twin reverb with a 57A. Super simple cab going on there. This is some of the little settings that I got on it right here. Super simple. And I just have a little reverb on here. It's just a medium room. It's a default reverb that loads up so that way things don't sound super dry and gross on your end. So let's read a little bit about these amps and check out some info about them. Everything I'm going to show you from here is coming from the X-Amp guy. I'm going to put a link to that in the description down below if you want to check it out. So, the actual amps that we have three twin reverbs that we're going to check it out. We have two black faces and we have one silver face. This one right here is a black face based on a 66 black face Fender Twin with the AB763 circuit, and this one was modified by Mr. Andy Fuchs. So, the N, that stands for the normal channel, because on a lot of Fenders, you have the normal input and you have the vibrato input. So here's the actual normal input, and then the one we heard in the intro, that one was actually the vibrato. Same amp, it's just from a different plug. And then we also have the 71 Twin Silver Face. It's a Fender Twin Reverb, but it's the silver face one. It's talking about the face plates on the actual front of the amp. We actually, as Yick says in his guide here, we actually don't know what circuit that one was based off of, that it was modeled, but we do have it in here. It's modeled off of the vibrato input, which 95% of the Fenders in here are just modeled off the vibrato one, because it's like the one more output, it's a little bit brighter. If you ever want to simulate what it's like to plug into the normal, just cut the input drive to 500 and you'll see what it sounds like. So let's read a little bit about them. So the actual I forgot the circuit number. Hold on, let me bounce the circuit number. The circuit number right here, the AB763, that's actually the king of the black face Fenders. This one sounds really great. It sounds really smooth. It's very highly desirable. I think there's been a few reissues of this one, if I'm not mistaken. But like I said, this one is based off of a 1960s model. And as I was saying before, the two blackface models based off a 66 85 watt twin reverb with a common AB763 circuit, just like the Band Commander, just like the Band Commander and the Deluxe reverbs. So what this means right here is that this just talks about when it was actually made. It doesn't necessarily mean that the circuits themselves are the same. It just means kind of like a general time that it was made. It's not actually a circuit identifier. It's just kind of like a block in time. I just said the same thing 3 times, but you understand what I'm getting at in there. These amps, you're going to hear, they can be very bassy and they can be very bright. So you kind of have to balance it out there. Guitar that I'm using while I'm thinking about it, it's a Tom Anderson Cobra S with an HC1 in the neck and an HC3 in the bridge. Those are Tom Anderson pickups, and I'm primarily going to be playing on my split position for everything that you're going to be hearing today. And any more information out of here that I can give you guys, usually equipped with 2 Jensen C12 speakers. I think that's what's in that IR. I'm just using the stock IR. I'm really not 100% sure what speakers are necessarily in that IR. Alright, enough talking. Let's actually check them out. If you want to hear what they sound like in real life, these videos are all pretty good. Yak always puts the best videos in his guide for stuff. So let's actually check them out. So let's start with here. Let's start with the normal reverb. I have the bright switch off on it, and I'll talk a little bit about it after we finish hearing it. Great clean sounding amp. I mean, there's not really a whole lot to say about it. I have the input drive low because I find if I jack it up more, it starts to break up. The breakup on it is fairly nice. I'll let you hear that, but I definitely have to lower the volume a little bit, the input. See, there's no master volume on here, so the input drive is the volume. Now the bright switch on all of these, on the two blacks and the silver face, they're very, very tricky because if you're not careful, you'll start to get like clipping, like it'll start to break up a little bit. Like, you know, when you push the treble a lot. Watch, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm sure you'll do it. It gets very ice picky. I'll show you in some of the other ones when you turn the volume up a lot, especially if you're using like a split coil position like I am on here. It gets out of control, so just be wary of that. It is a tad bit bassy, you know, but I still have a decent amount of bass in there. You can put the bright switch. It doesn't really need the bright switch like we were saying before. That was a normal. Let's bounce on to the Vibrato Plug. Like I said before, these amps that's modified off of, these were modified by Andy Fuchs. So they're tweaked a little bit. Like I was saying, this particular amp was modified by Andy Fuchs of Fuchs Audio and breaks up earlier than the stock Twins. That's a good thing because these amps were like insanely loud. Like the actual analog amps are insanely loud, and it takes a lot of pushing in them to get them to break up. So if they break up earlier, I don't see really a big problem with that. I think that's actually pretty cool. So let's do the vibrato one real quick. I don't know why, but I like the vibrato one better. I guess because it's a little bit higher output. Let me see if I can get to clip like I was talking about earlier. That's what I was talking about. Like it can get pretty harsh. So just watch your treble whenever you dial it. And that's the vibrato one. And let's move over to the silver face. So the two blacks, the normal and the vibrato, they kind of have a very similar sound. The twin, the silver face, it's a little bit different. Silver face sounds great too. I mean, in between all of these, I don't even think I messed with the EQ on all of them. I literally just dialed everything in right here. Typically, using single coils on Fender amps lends itself to a little bit better because I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of them were designed with, were actually single coils. But we're using a single coil position here on my Innocent, like I said before. I think it really comes down to preference and your guitar. How does your guitar respond to the different amps? I mean, they all really sound good. I mean, you could sit here and nitpick all day about the differences of them, but I don't really have one that I favor more. Maybe the vibrato, maybe the silver face. I don't know. It's really a toss-up in between. I mean, I think they sound really good. They're very, very easy to dial in. You just kind of have to watch, like I said, you kind of have to watch the bass and you kind of have to watch the treble. And I mean, you can get a really good clean sound. I mean, you can stack drive pedals on here if you want. Let me let you hear what it sounds like if we turn up the input drive. So let's put it right at 5. Kind of getting a little bit of breakup, a tiny bit. Yeah, that one has a nice little breakup. Let's actually go to the vibrato and let's test this one out. So like I said, well, as we read earlier, this one breaks up a little sooner than the normal. And last but not least, let's go over to the normal input. Coincidentally enough, If you want to drive these amps and get a little breakup, use the normal if you want to do that. If you want to do strictly clean, use the vibrato. I find that is a good winning combination. And for the silver face, it's really either or. Like I said, lots of options, totally up to you. Alright guys, if you thought this video was cool, leave me a thumbs up. If you aren't subbed, guys, you really should consider it, because we got cool stuff that goes on this channel. Alright guys, I'm going to have to catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Peace.